Hello everybody, today we're going to be looking at 10 players that I expect to break out in the 2023 NFL season. We are going to dive right on into this list. Up first, Chig Okonkwo, the tight end from the Tennessee Titans. He was a fourth-round pick in 2022 out of Maryland. He's going into his second year in the league. He had 32 catches for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2022 as a rookie with pretty inconsistent quarterback play. Once Ryan Tannehill got injured, Malik Willis really didn't throw the ball much at all when he was out there, and Josh Dobbs was pretty inconsistent as well. But Okonkwo really showed some nice things as a rookie. He had some really nice yards after catch ability. He was very effective as a move tight end, kind of playing in that H-back role, running flats, leaks, crossers, lots of different routes that really allowed him to use his athleticism, use his route running prowess, and I thought he was very, very good as a blocker on the move as well. I expect the Titans to have more consistent play in 2023 with Ryan Tannehill getting back to being healthy. I also expect that they will have more plays designed to get the ball in his hands because I do think he is one of the better playmakers on this offense. Tight ends can take a while to develop, and another year in the system in the NFL, I do expect him to be a much better player in year 2. He already showed some really, really nice flashes in year 1, and I expect that he's going to be a focal point of this Titans offense moving forward in 2023. At number 2, Demario Lenore, the cornerback from the San Francisco 49ers. He was a 5th-round pick in 2021, and is just 23 going into his 3rd season, was coming out of Oregon, coming out of school. He had to play when Emmanuel Moseley went down with an injury last year. He started 13 regular season games, and a lot of that time he was kind of seen as the weakest link on that San Francisco defense, and a lot of quarterbacks tested him and tried to pick him apart. He has inside-outside versatility. He's very physical against the run, which is a very important trait. You need your corners to be great tacklers to really contain some of those big outside runs. He had 2 massive interceptions in 3 playoff games last year, and he allowed just a 21.8 passer rating per PFF in those performances as well. Now he's slated to be a full-time starter with Emmanuel Moseley in Detroit. Lenore will look to improve on a very impressive end to the season in the playoffs and really start to become a main contributor on this 49ers defense. At number 3, Daxton Hill, the safety from the Cincinnati Bengals. Hill was a first-round pick out of Michigan in 2022, the 31st overall pick. He looked extremely dynamic in the preseason in 2022, had some really good reps, just didn't play much at free safety at all with Jesse Bates there last year. Now with Bates gone in Atlanta and Von Bell leaving as well, there's going to be a ton of safety snaps to eat up. I think he has the athleticism to be a dynamic, true center fielding free safety, which is very rare to find. He had 4.38 speed at the combine, had elite explosive testing as well. He was my number 1 safety in the draft in 2022. Obviously, with both of the Bengals starting safeties leaving in free agency this past year, Daxton Hill is going to have a huge role in a team that expects to be very competitive. I expect Daxton Hill to have a smooth transition into being a starting safety and really break out as a very good player in 2023. Next, we have Kaden Ellis, the linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons. He was mostly just kind of a rotational linebacker, a special teams ace for the Saints the past few years, but he had to fill in due to injury to Pete Werner last year, and I thought he filled in very admirably. He had 7 sacks and 7 tackle for loss in 2022, had a lot of plays flying around the field. I thought he showed some really good things off the edge as a blitzer. I thought he was very, very dangerous when they really kind of let him get after the quarterback. He showed that he could potentially deserve a bigger role, and the Falcons absolutely are giving him that. They really don't have much in that linebacker room. You have 2nd-round pick Troy Anderson, who is a complete unknown at this point, but Ellis is likely to be the linebacker 1 for the Falcons defense this year. He is 28, which would be a little bit late for a breakout, but this is the first time in his NFL career that he's really had a chance to be a full-time starter, and I am very excited to see what he could potentially do for this Falcons defense. At number 5, I have Nico Collins, the wide receiver from the Houston Texans. Nico Collins is going into year 3. He's just 24 years old. He has great size, speed combination. He's 6'4", 215 pounds, ran a 4.45 40-yard dash back at the combine. He has never had good quarterback play in Houston. Davis Mills was always one of the worst starters in the league. And now he has C.J. Stroud, who is a very accurate quarterback, somebody that the Texans have very high hopes can be their franchise quarterback. Collins had 481 yards and 2 touchdowns in 10 games in 2023. There's no clear wide receiver 1 in this offense. I think Robert Woods is well past his prime at this point. You really don't have many other guys there. Tank Dell, John Mechie, we'll see what they can do, but they're both big unknowns. I think Nico Collins has showed some really nice things, kind of as a traditional X receiver. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he can be a downfield threat, and I think especially for CJ Stroud, who throws a lot of deep comebacks, a lot of plays that are long developing, he gives this guy chances on backside shoulders. I think that's the exact kind of quarterback that Nico Collins needs to really unlock his potential. If he's able to stay healthy in 2023, I do think he is going to be a potential breakout candidate and be a very impressive player. At number 6, we have Jake Ferguson, the tight end from the Dallas Cowboys. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. He's a very strong blocker and is just 24 years old, going into his second season with the Dallas Cowboys. Dalton Schultz left for Houston in free agency. It leaves a huge chance for either Ferguson or Peyton Hendershot to be the main tight end on this Cowboys team. I thought Ferguson was a really strong pick in the 4th round coming out of Wisconsin. He was a very polished prospect, and I thought he actually resembled Dalton Schultz in a lot of ways. I think he has reliable hands. He's a good blocker. He's a very steady tight end. I think we'll have a lot of opportunities this year. I don't think he's ever going to necessarily be a dominant tight end, but I think he's definitely somebody that can be a good, reliable route runner, get the catch, pick up a first down. He could be a really solid run blocker, just a complete tight end that I think could be a top half of the league starter this year for the Dallas Cowboys, which would be a huge get for them. At number 7, I have Monty Rice, the linebacker for the Tennessee Titans. He was a 3rd-round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft coming out of Georgia. He doesn't have crazy size or length necessarily, but he has really good speed for the position. He ran a 4.58 40-yard dash in that 2021 Combine. He started 6 games in 2022 after recovering from a pretty serious Achilles injury that he suffered in his rookie year. I thought he showed some really good things in the running game especially. He had a run-stop rate of 12.1% in 2022 per PFF, which was 3rd in the league. I thought he showed great instincts, speed, and motor, especially in the running game. And while I do think he has some things to improve on in coverage, I really like that when he gets fooled by play action, he turns and runs, and he doesn't just look for grass to cover, he looks for players to cover, and that's something that is very tough for linebackers to kind of learn. While I do think he has a lot of things to improve on in coverage especially, I do think that he has shown some really nice things and could be a true breakout player in 2023 for the Titans. At number 8, I have Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher for the Miami Dolphins. He was a 1st-round pick in 2021, coming out of Miami, Florida as well. He had 8.5 sacks as a rookie in 2021. Had 7 last year, but really thought he showed to be a much more dangerous pass rusher, a much more complete player as well. He had 36 pressures in 2022, which was 10 more than he had his rookie season. He was also a much better player against the run in his 2nd year as well. I thought he showed a really good job setting the edge, coming across the tackle, being a good contained player, and somebody that can be a really effective run stopper as well. Going into year 3, I truly expect him to take that next step and potentially be a top 10 edge rusher, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, have 12 plus sacks, 40 pressures, be a really effective player against the run. This is more me projecting him from going to a really good player to a complete superstar, and I have all the confidence that if he remains healthy, Jalen Phillips is going to be one of the best edge rushers in the league in 2023. At number 9, I have Kirby Joseph, the safety from the Detroit Lions. I thought Joseph showed some great things as a rookie last year. He was somebody I was extremely high on coming into the draft. I loved his ball hawking ability. I thought he had a rare ability to be a true ball hawking free safety, which is really, really tough to find, while also having the ability to come up and be physical at the line of scrimmage as well. I had an early day 2 grade on him. They got him in the 3rd round. I thought it was an excellent pick. He ended up starting 14 games for the Lions, showed some amazing flashes, particularly in week 9 against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, where he picked off Rodgers twice. He ended up picking off Rodgers again later in the season and had 4 total interceptions on the year. I thought he was very long, had great measurables and instincts. He could be a cover 1 safety. I expect him to be a bit more of a consistent player in 2022, really take a step forward towards being a top 10 to 15 safety in the NFL in 2023. Finally, my last breakout candidate is Justin Fields, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I think Fields has every opportunity to really be a franchise-level quarterback this year. He absolutely has to show it. He has things that he absolutely needs to improve on. But all of the tools, the surrounding cast, I think it's all there for him to really take that next step in 2023. He had over 1,000 yards as a rusher last year. When the play broke down, he was an absolute electric runner. He was on the level of Lamar Jackson, of Jalen Hurts, of the best running quarterbacks in NFL history, to be honest with you. He now has a certified stud number 1 wide receiver in DJ Moore. I love that they went out and got DJ Moore, somebody that can be an established weapon for Justin Fields, somebody that has proven that they can already be successful in the NFL. And I think that Mooney and Claypool are fine number 2 and number 3 options. That's a much more natural position for both of them to be in. Your offensive line is in a much better place. Darnell Wright got brought over, first-round pick from Tennessee. Yeah, brought in Nate Davis from free agency as well. Now he has a much better offensive line, much better receivers. I think the coaching staff is going to put him in good positions to be successful. He has a great arm, some fantastic mobility, good accuracy when he really kind of sets up. He really does need to be a much more efficient passer. He needs to get the ball out on time more quickly. He needs to go through his progressions faster and just be a better overall quarterback at reading the defense and getting the ball on time where it needs to be. But this supporting cast is much better. He's already shown the flashes of being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He's just got to put it together on a more consistent basis, and I think he will have every opportunity to do so in 2023. So those are my 10 breakout players. Let me know who I missed down below. Who do you think is going to have a huge year in 2023? If you like this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button down below. While you're down there, hit that like button as well. Truly helps me out and would mean the world. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.